it's a little bit abstract because they won't be the one making the plays, but keeping an eye on Zekken, he, in a lot of ways, is going to serve for the side of P1 a similar role that Hiko plays for 100 Thieves. So a very high impact, very high clutch potential. So his, especially when we see them moving over to their defensive side, his ability to retake when it comes to the B site will be a defining characteristic in their ability to succeed on this map. And it looks like we're going to get right into it.
We are going to get right into it. It is a full A send from PHOENIX1, and they are very blind. There was certainly an awareness that this was a possibility on the spot up side. They will have to back away and play retake on the side, however.
Yeah, really unfortunate for them where right off the go, PHOENIX1 just sort of blitzes onto A site. All of the Killjoy util from spot up side on B, and they're just sort of left to fall into that hyper-defensive, dedicated retake scenario.
Jangler with a jumping headshot takes down HIA, and PHOENIX1 holding strong on the site so far. Rustin finally finds a way into the site with precision dropping on the spike now. Jangler goes huge, the frenzy, and I don't believe it. PHOENIX1 will be able to pick up 3 consecutive kills, giving them a round off of a very, very quick A-side blitz.
A quick opener and a round win on the attack side of this map is going to be super favorable for PHOENIX1. This map, in general, for those of you that don't know, does have a pretty significant defensive skew. To sort of steal away that pistol round and get that early momentum is incredibly strong for PHOENIX1 here. It looks like they might be going straight back, bread and butter, hitting site A as quickly as possible, buying into those SMGs, good amount of Stinger favoring, but it looks like they're running right into a Bucky in the hands of Kempeki. We'll see how that pans out for them.
Menace right onto the site with a shotgun of their own, and Precision will fall down very, very quickly. Or sorry, find the kill very, very quickly. With the door dropped, same strat, same result. Quick A blitz finds yet more success for PHOENIX1. The shotgun couldn't do anything.
Yeah, being able to dislodge Kempeki there right off the rip gave this side away a little bit for free. Ooh. And now Menace is just going ham with his judge. A little bit of an overextension there.
I was watching it on the map, and I was like, Menace, that seems like you're getting a little frisky here. Finally, they do pay for it, but of course the round will be a fairly clean anti-eco clear.
In his defense, he's been picking up enough frags, and they've gotten the plant money here from both rounds, where he can probably afford to just sort of hemorrhage that judge here and buy into a more aggressive weapon, or his team's just going to save it for him anyway. That works too.
They saved it for him. They gave it back. Here you go, bud. Swing it again. PHOENIX1 have been finding a lot of success off of these super quick A blitzes. Now there's going to be, of course, guns bought up. This will be a proper round. Do you expect them to throw another haymaker towards A, or play this a little more slowly?
It's a little bit interesting that we see them sort of stacking up into top mid here. Given the fact that this is their bonus round, they're playing on light weaponry, you don't really expect them to be taking those longer range duels in mid and opting into that situation where they're likely going to be inherently disadvantaged. But it looks like they are going to just sort of wrap up, use that deep smoke in pizza to get access to dog, and they're going to hit tree here. It's still going to be a fast A, but they took a little bit of a different route to it.
Oh, Menace gets pinged. PHOENIX1 see him with the Sova dart and just rack him through the smoke. Now the flashes to retake control of this garden area, and Kempeki goes huge. 2 consecutive kills. Figment will trade positive with precision. And this is a very clean defensive round. The first one of the game for Spot Up as they hold strong. It was a mid attempt this time, and not a successful one.
It really fell apart for them pretty quickly there. They had that initial burst, but we saw that as soon as Menace went up towards window and got shut out, the whole exec stalled. They found the success on the 2 prior rounds by really having a successful burst, getting onto site, immediately planting. With this pathing and the fact that they sent their jet, their really only entry duelist, directly into Garden, left them wanting for a lot, especially after he went down.
And this goes back to what we were talking about how they tend to pour resources into Menace as kind of their main duelist, their only duelist, a little bit more of that European style. And if Menace goes down real early, you see the bad result. Here is another lightning fast dash into the smoke. Judge in hand, turret down, snuck out behind Trill. This is disgusting, and it's worked. Menace finds a rifle upgrade, but swaps back to the shotgun at close range. There still is a player hanging out at the very back of sight inside Boathouse. That was Rustin, who did just fall. And another lightning-fast take for PHOENIX1 has gotten them another plant.
See, that's the sort of play that we need out of them. We need a quick conversion of Menace's dive into space that PHOENIX1 can take. And it was really interesting that you brought up that sort of presence of mind where he gets the rifle upgrade but still sticks to the judge, holds that close angle for market, but it's not going to be enough as of now. And it looks like PHOENIX1's going to get this pretty cleanly.
There was a frag back, but I believe Spot Up are just looking for exits. King is behind him. Will drop Kampeki and might be able to clean up even more. Oh, looks like we're good. Second. Oh no, Figment will find the kill. Interesting. You don't want to see that, but Figment's been popping off so far, so I suppose it's not surprising that he's managed to eke out a little bit too much damage in that gun round. He was the player who previously threw the dart that shut down that Menace engage through Garden. So, a really, really good game.
Yeah, really great thus far. Obviously, Spot Up dropping that first full rifle round, not where they want to be, but it looks like we're going to have PHOENIX1 still playing into a super dive-heavy style. We have Menace with a Bucky of all things, despite the fact that he could be buying up into a full rifle. Expect him to go full bore onto site here.
Could be buying up a rifle, but why would you? This will be the A hit again that we saw this time. We'll be watching it from a defensive perspective as Menace finds the opener. Jangler also out on site. Menace will drop, but Zekin trades up into Figment, and that will be enough to hold as Spot Up have successfully just jammed that tight cubby. And in a 2v3, Phoenix do have site control, but not much more. There's the plant. Zekin sticking it. Rustin round the corner, won't have vision on that spike, which is down behind the E-box, but now, of course, they know where Zekin is. Zekin will have that radar dart out, but doesn't get a pulse, so they're going to have to play this blind. And in a 2v3, it may be more literal. Trill in with a nice smoke. Jangler will find the follow-up. Oh, two! A very clean round as Jangler picks up the entirety of the retake, and Supermassive will not be able to get that side. 4-1 now for Phoenix.
I'm just going to put it out there. That's the second time in 5 rounds that Jangler's just tucked himself into right side hell and absolutely obliterated a retake. We've got to see something out of Spot Up here to better clear that. They've got plenty of utility to be able to do it. The fact that they're bringing in Phoenix with hot hands and the fact that they have Sova darts, there's got to be lineups in their toolkit to make sure that that's not happening, because twice now in a critical round, no less, is not going to fly.
I'm really impressed. We kind of came into this game painting Phoenix as the less aim-heavy team. Obviously, Kampeki's the big name star. You also have Trill, former Dallas Fuel Overwatch League player, over on Spot Up. But thus far, Phoenix have been taking and winning some very aggressive rounds. Yes, off the back of good coordination, but also off of some really sick aim tools.
Yeah, and I think that we're actually, if you look at the positioning of Spot Up right now on the map, we're seeing an early adaptation to that. They're not playing on-site defense anymore at all. They've got 2 people playing up mid, they've got 3 people playing towards Garden and Ramp, and they're just playing full rotation. They realize that PHOENIX1 is bringing out these hyper-bursty plays as the breach ult goes across A, and Menace is all the way in the back immediately. This is the reason that they're playing that full retake style. They realize they can't hold it, and they need to commit their manpower to retake it.
Case in point, why would you want to stand in the Rolling Thunder? As is, the ultimate finds almost nobody. I believe it's zoned Kampeki back. Oh dear. Every single knife misses, and yeah, it's just as good we cut away. Zekin will find the kill. 2 actually, with their Sova ulti. As this should be a very clean anti-eco for PHOENIX1. They did burn 2 different ultimates on this round, so maybe you can critique that as an over-investment in an anti-eco. But when the rounds are this clean, and I do not know how Zekin knew how to hit that shot, there's no reason to critique it too much.
This is starting to look pretty dire on the side of Spot Up. We're in a situation now where, oh man.
Why did they die to Spike?
So the recent changes with saving in rounds where the spike was planted, you not only don't get ultimate charge, but you get significantly less money. And where they're only carrying forward pistols there, it just doesn't make sense, especially where you're
Right.
looking at two agents with high potency ultimates like the Killjoy there. You 100% want to die. You run into the bomb there every
Okay.
single time if you can.
I'm not up to date on how that would affect the econ. This is why I bring you along.
I'm here for something. We're gonna see.
You know, I was joking during the pregame in our little chat. If we're hiring coaches, I'm just saying Apex's voice was pretty sick. Him and PHOENIX1. If you're ever sick, if you're ever out, I got a name. Kampeki. Let's start this round pushing past the flash. Oh, and double
right
straight out before King trades him out.
That's the sort of, I don't want to say lucky, but the kind of break that Spot really seems to need to get these rounds cracked open in their favor. With Rustin picking up another one, they're in great position here now to start the backswing, sort of get this comeback rolling. We're sitting on some major ultimates here, so even if somehow PHOENIX1 manages to get the spike down, if Spot Up deems it necessary, I think that there's little to no chance that P1 pulls this round out.
We'll see. Spike does go down. Phoenix only have 2 players alive, so you have to assume that Spot Up will be able to clean this up. But Jangler's going to press aggressive for exactly that reason. Trill drops them, and that should be the round. It's just an off-site hold. Trill will take that gunfight and lose it, to be fair, but Figment's got the trade. Very well played at the start of that. You can see finally some of those big plays we've been calling for from Kampeki as they're able to push out down mid, take that quick peek past the breach flash, and find the kill.
Yeah, really great defense there. Shutting down the preliminary catwalk push was absolutely impeccable and really set the tempo for this round. Interestingly, it looks like PHOENIX1 is going to start leaning towards B here. Makes a lot of sense when you look over to the side of Spot Up. They're sitting on that Killjoy ultimate. For those of you who have followed the NA Valorant scene very heavily, we know that there's sort of that semi-bugged Killjoy ultimate that you can put on Lamp and Garden, and it makes A takes really difficult when you're staring down that ultimate. So shifting over to B here makes a lot of sense. And they're straight in, as usual.
Straight in. No shotgun this time from Menace. We'll have to play this corner very tightly, but Precision is already shutting down the site itself, and Menace will clean things up and hold the choke point. A very, very clean side take.
Spike planted.
Spot Up, unable to get anything on these on-site defenses. And indeed, the quick retakes that oftentimes follow them are shut down just as fast because they have no vision. All the utility burned by PHOENIX1 to take the site is oftentimes still up when the first Spot Up members are trying to retake.
Yeah, it's super interesting because we see on the side of Spot Up that Figment's using pretty early Sova darts on a recurrent basis, and we see PHOENIX1's exec timing following that up almost exactly. And so you're left in a position as Spot Up where you're either sitting on your hands for 35 seconds waiting for your second cycle Sova CDs in order to have an effective retake, or you're just dying. And for the most part, they've been doing the latter.
Which is, I think, a testament to how good these PHOENIX1 executes have been. Oftentimes you'll see these quick rounds and you're like, oh, they're just out-aiming them. That, to be clear, isn't entirely what's happening. PHOENIX1 are also very clearly executing set takes that they've practiced with really good utility placement. It's getting Menace out onto site. Speaking of, this time they're headed towards A. Kampeki is playing real tight on this corner with the Bucky. Here's the drone. That's a free kill, but he misses!
How is that not a kill?
What? Kampeki's been
Kampeki with
robbed!
a point-blank Bucky to the face, and he walks away.
He's been robbed. There's no two ways about it. Rusted on the site will find 2 with the Sheriff. And the site hold comes through anyway. There is some karmic justice in the world. Spot
That was
Up,
something else.
able to walk away with it.
Spot Up there with a D round for the ages, managing to pull it out when, frankly, they really need it. Get some form of economic snowball going for themselves.
Right, very important for Spot Up. There was some sick shots on site with the Sheriff, but How did that Bucky not get a kill?
I think he was at, what, 25 after the fact?
Yeah, and he right-clicked, didn't he?
He must have. He must have.
Get out of my way!
I thought it was a right-click right to that forehead. Really rough times for a Kampeki.
Deploying drone.
And as a result, they have to pull it out from the side, but they do. Spot up now 3-6, and as you say, they do have a little bit of an economic snowball starting.
And interestingly enough, they're still sitting on that Killjoy ultimate. You'd think that when a team knows that they have that in tow, you're going to want to play full retake. You're going to want to get that off of your Killjoy as quickly as you possibly can, use it to secure a round, and then pivot into snowballing it back onto your Killjoy via orb control. And they're just not doing that. They're playing on-site defense with their Killjoy, meaning that the likelihood of them converting a lot of value off of that ultimate this round is basically 0, which is a little bit of a questionable decision in my opinion.
Rustin on site will shut down Precision. Double push out, and Rustin's going huge. Pulls out the last one off the Sheriff, this time Vandal in hand. It is 3 consecutive kills to lock down the site. And Kampeki will find King wandering through Pizza, trying to find some coupons.
It's a little bit funny because you'll look at this triple kill from Rustin and you'll be like, oh my goodness, see, it's totally validated that he was playing on-site defense. He just punted almost half of another Killjoy ultimate by not having it used in a prior round, by not playing full retake. The ultimate economy side of Spot Up right now is deeply confusing, but they are finding that traction that they need. They are finding at least the heads that they need to convert.
I would describe a lot of this game as deeply confusing after those last few rounds. PHOENIX1, it does seem like their set executes are finally beginning to be read. A little bit more aggression like this from HIA. Double flash back out that time. They get caught by blind. And second will find the trade, but it's 1-for-1 with plenty of knowledge, so you should have a rotate in for retake. The drones flying past each other, both blind. As the site hold from PHOENIX1, or sorry, from Spot Up, is struggling. Jangler will get out on. And you see Trill right up here in the rafters, trying to find a way in.
Spike planted.
And here we are, left in that awkward retake. Are they going to drop the Killjoy ultimate? Are they going to do it? This would be the time.
They have to, right? Yeah.
They have the positioning for that ultimate.
There
Here
it
it
is.
goes.
Sova ulti, Rustin, will be shut down. Beautifully played as Rustin pushes out to the side. He's going to be met. Jangler playing like a beast underneath the rafters. We'll find 3 kills in the round.
Last round in the half.
And that
Big
was
takeaway.
exactly what PHOENIX1 needed. Jangler has been the hero of this game for them.
Absolutely. Honestly, after that Killjoy ultimate went out, I would have heavily favored Spot Up to win that round. They equalized manpower. They had Zekin channeling Sova ultimate in Wine, so they know his positioning. And lo and behold, what do they end up losing the round to?
Let's fly.
No one else but Jangler playing the same spot that I mentioned before. That right side hell,
The same
finding the
spot.
multi-kills on site. They haven't cleared it once on their retakes, and it's breaking their backs.
The same spot that he's like won the 3 retakes from. This time, real quick, rolling Thunder out onto the site. TP as well from Jangler. And there's the spike. God, I love this quick take. That is such fun to watch.
It feels like every single round, PHOENIX1 is just ripping a page out of the Vision Strikers playbook from Korea. It's all bursty, it's all fast, it's all highly executed, highly planned, and it's paying dividends.
Play there. Yeah, Precision and King just playing excellently, and the flank is there. That's just going to be a very clean round. You're saying Vision Strikers. I would also call back to FPX, who are one of my favorite teams to watch because of the speed of those takes, but then also the adjustments that were made successfully for Spot Up, where they started challenging the setups. They started peeking in to the setups on the defense, were countered because PHOENIX1 just got faster. They started using those ultimates like the Rolling Thunder to just literally start the execute the second the blue wall drops. And I am
I mean, it was a great example of effectively leveraged ult economy. We saw P1 come to the gates, fast play, sort of an intermediate pace play where they were going up catwalk, didn't work, immediately back to fast plays. They used breach ultimate, As soon as they had it, they cycled it, they ran another one after they won 2 more rounds of dive, and it just snowballed out of control and netted them the 8-4 half.
Now Phoenix will take to the defense, as you say, 8-4 in the lead. And Spot Up have their work cut out for them here on the attack. Very quick split take through mid. Menace will find an opening kill. This hold is good so far. She's standing at the logs, picking up some frags, but the rest of the pincer comes through and will clean up the side players. Precision and King on a flank, I guess.
It's so interesting watching the juxtaposition of the way that PHOENIX1 was playing versus the way that Spot Up is now playing this round, where they basically flooded into sight, but not via using abilities, and instead just take aim duels over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm. The big change up for me there was if PHOENIX1's initial sight take gets stymied, like we saw it a couple times where Menace would just get shut down, and you'd be like, oh, well, that's the round then. There we saw Spot Up go in, not find success with the initial shove, but because they have multiple duelists that they're playing into, because it's more of a traditional Counter-Strike style play style, they're able to say, okay, well, our entry got shut down, but here are our fraggers coming in behind them.
Yeah, absolutely. And funnily enough, Rustin being one of those primary fraggers, it seems, picking up plenty of kills there.
Apparently.
Getting some momentum towards that first Killjoy ultimate. Pretty important for them.
But there's 3 people here. And Zekin is just waiting. Jangler back at his home. He lives here. We'll be able to find a kill. Zekin does get found out. Trill, though, for 3! We'll clean up everyone underneath rafters, as that will be indeed a safe anti-eco.
Yeah, Jangler going back into his hole there, but Trill coming up with that stinger around the E-box absolutely cleans house from that hell stack.
I was really enjoying, because I thought the setup there was that Zekin was just going to sit in the corner of hell, and they were going to shove it, get 2 kills in hell, and be like, well, that's the site defenders, and then Zekin was going to pop out. But somebody peeked in deep with a stinger and cleaned him up, and I didn't like that. Here is our slower A hit. We said Spot Up, we're going to play this a little more safely. And I think you are.
It makes them susceptible to some cheeses. We see that Menace is in line here.
Yeah, Menace kind of flashed for their... They should have an indication, and they do, that Menace is there. So Menace has been left here to die. We'll try and dash, get caught on the wall. It's all a bit of a disaster, and Spot Up have 2 openers as they begin to shove over towards this A site. And they are indeed all the way out. Plant will go down, and it is retake time, 3v5. Let's see if PHOENIX1 opt into that. Well, they do. Jangler throwing out the smoke, Zekin with an opener, Rustin dropped in the arches. Some spam will come their way. Good flash. Oh, but the spam right through! Jangler grabbing Trill through the barrier. King will go down as HIA finds one of his own through the woodwork. But it's now an entirely doable 2-on-3. With the time this low, PHOENIX1 don't want to commit to it, so they'll be happy with the frags they've gotten and fall away. Kampaki does chase, but can't find the kill.
Yeah, just shy of getting there. And it looks like Spot Up is really finding a good deal of momentum here on their attacker's side.
Yeah, I've been really impressed. I've been really impressed by the way Spot Up are taking these rounds, because it is kind of the exact, and we set this up in our pre-match, it is the exact opposite of the way PHOENIX1 are playing. PHOENIX1 are playing that more Eastern style of quick side executes, lots of utility usage. Spot Up are just playing some Counter-Strike, working their way out onto the sides, clearing their angles, taking their time, and it is good to see. It is good fundamentals.
Yeah, it's almost to the point where you want to see them lean more into that Eastern style. Just because they're on defense doesn't mean that they can't make pop plays with the Jet, and we should see more of those.
Hope so. I want to see some more from Menace. This time, it is Figman cleaning up the site, though. Again, a clean push out on from Spot Up. And there should be another clean round. Very disappointing from PHOENIX1. They have lost the entire lead they earned now on the attack. This round would tie us up at 8-all. King working his way out. Does have one teammate in that breach hanging around. Pizza. I don't think they know how far forward King is. And you will find a free kill. That is it, though. And it's precision. You has been big this game, but I don't think 1v3 big. So we'll try and get some exits. That's probably it.
Yeah, bringing it back up to a tie.
There it is.
Oh. He'll take those.
8-8, as you say, a tied game. PHOENIX1 earning a massive lead through really cool set executes on the attack, and now Spot Up has run it all the way back.
It's looking pretty dicey here for P1. I think that the extent to which they're opting into more of a containment, defensive style on their defense side is not lending itself well to the way that they've configured their composition. They want to enable Menace to make big plays, and they seemingly haven't. Here we see them finally do that, coincidentally. He's using knives. We see the paranoia come out gelato, but there's no one there for him to kill. He is going to have a deep flank, though, here, coming through the attacker spawn, rather. He's going! He's hoofing it! There's one!
Oh! And he's out. He finds the kill, and here's the fadeaway. I love it from Menace, and that's what you were calling for, to be fair. Unfortunately, there aren't a whole lot more resources over on PHOENIX1, as is often the case when you see Jet Knives making big plays. It is full pistols, full sheriffs across the board.
And it looks like, oddly enough, once Spot Up got hit with that fast flank, they've opted to full pause. They are simply sitting in mid, prodding for light space. They've got that one forward element in the Phoenix sitting in Pizza, sort of fishing to try and punish an over-rotation, but it looks like he's about to walk into a stack of at least 3.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, Menace finds another one on this round. His HIA goes down. Does have the peak down mid, and that should complete the knowledge. Yeah, does complete the knowledge for PHOENIX1. Then Spot Up are headed over towards A. You can see the benefits of that early aggression, just giving them more map control. It's a very good Sova dart as well. And this means PHOENIX1 on the retake of decent odds. Second, first round the corner as the door is burned down. Killjoy will be thrown out, but the lockdown still doesn't have an effect on Menace yet. And there's another kill as Campeki drops. The last two players are playing off-site. Menace really tempted just to stick it here. Will be hit by the lockdown regardless. Rustin does find Jangler, and that means that these two attackers have access to the site. PHOENIX1 down to 2 players as Rustin finds another kill. Will finally trade out to Zekin. The Sova ulti to clear worked out. Zekin saves the day with the final kill, but won't be able to win the round.
Zekin doing his absolute hardest there. Menace really at a loss there, it seemed, sort of scrambling around site, debating whether or not he wanted to try to stick the spike to half, realizing a little bit too late that there's no way he gets that, and he just gets detained right up against that close A main side wall, and the round falls apart a bit from there.
Really well played by Zekin and Menace, though, to get that much damage out of an eco round. I think that does have to be the framing. They almost completely wiped Spot Up with Sheriffs. And hopefully we see some lessons learned, and indeed so far we do. Menace taking the operator and showing a little bit more of that aggression. Goodbye, Rustin.
That is not something that you can afford to see as Spot Up at this point. I think that we know that the econ from both teams has enabled ops at this point, and we see an aggressive angle take from the side of PHOENIX1, but not the parring from the side of Spot Up. We saw Campeki pick up a little bit of pressure towards A main, but ultimately it's going to net nothing. Menace goes to the opposite side of the map, finds another pick, and now we're looking at a situation where Spot Up is at best taking a 3v5.
Yeah, really, really well played, and this is what we were calling for. A little bit more aggression out of PHOENIX1, pressing into the slow set takes, the slow trading takes that Spot Up have been trying to repeatedly execute. And it finds some disruption. And now we're in a world where they've only got 3 players to work the map and try and find opportunities with. PHOENIX1
seconds
could
left.
just sit back, play the time, and eventually win out. This will be the B take.
enemy
King
remaining.
shoves, just sits on the other side of his Cypher cage. Campeki, what was that? Was that a no-scope?
That was an op to the chest, point blank.
There isn't a rifle for them to pick up, so this has to be all up all the way. Second for Campeki, but that will be all. 9-9, we're tied again, as PHOENIX1 are able to step up and show off that aggression for a winning round here.
Yeah, and we're seeing a good bit of adaptation here from P1. I was saying that they needed to show us more aggression. We've started to see that aggression coming out, and you see that SpotUp doesn't exactly know how to handle it. When we see Menace finding those early picks, diving deep gelato off rip, what does SpotUp do? They lose 1 or 2, and then their slow, default-heavy, sort of pick-centric style just ceases to function.
9-9, a tied scoreline. And Phoenix are still, as you say, paralyzing the spot-up attack with their aggression, but that time Menace misses the fleck. And you can't afford to do that versus Campeki, who will trade out the kill. Precision is there, but the trading continues positive as Trill opens things up further for spot-up and leaves Zekken kind of on an island over here towards the A side. I don't believe Phoenix are interested, or sorry, aware of how much emphasis there is over towards this B side, though. SpotUp aren't interested in pursuing those trades they found over towards A. They have their entire team over at B, and there is nobody there for Phoenix. PHOENIX1 have entirely vacated this site. Now they will know what's up, as the trapwire should alert them to the entry. But Phoenix have to full retake.
Here.
We're looking at a situation here where, okay, they do have second cycle Sova cooldown, so they are going to have an entry, but not going in with that recon dart. I'm not sure if that's going to make it work for them. P1's in a horrible situation now, having to crack onto that inner B site, not having their recon dart. That was a critical flaw in their setup. They're not executing on that recon dart timing.
The second you learn there's a player at Pizza, this should just cancel the push. There's no way that you're going to be able to play this retake slow, and indeed, they agree with me. Phoenix will drop back. They got rifles to hang on to. And they'll try and get some exits here as well. Good duo play from Jangler and King. Jangler finds 2 very nice executions. And it will cost SpotUp a decent amount, but they finally find a hole by trading positively in mid, then working their way over to B.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't an easy situation for PHOENIX1 to make anything happen there, but the fact that they were in position to make that retake happen, and then they just didn't. They quite literally shot the recon dart, let it tick once, got multiple pings, but weren't there to capitalize, immediately shotgunned any opportunity that retake had to succeed.
Oh my lord. SpotUp just full executing, full rushing. Oh no, there's the pause. They get stalled up by the smoke. There's a flashbang ready though, but it's too late. Round the corner does play Jangler. They'll find 1 kill. Rustin finally trades him out. Second player onto the snipe. You already have that Jet. Campeki working their way around the Rolling Thunder. A retake attempt will be greeted by them, but PHOENIX1 have already found the kills they need. It is just Campeki left on the site in a 1v2 to win this round. We'll be able to isolate the 1v1s here, but Menace wins it, dropping Campeki and bringing us again to a tie game. It is 10-all.
Campeki feels like he's just been having a super off game here. You'd expect that on sort of that star entry duelist role for the side of SpotUp, he'd be popping off, and he's been floating at the bottom of the table. And it's not one of those instances where I want to tease a player for having poor stats, but when you're in specifically that Jet role, when your only job is to frag out and you've been floating either bottom of the totem pole or second slot up, basically this entire match, you've got to start finding more kills.
I'm paying attention to Campeki at the start of these rounds because the speed of execution for spot up seems to entirely revolve around what Campeki finds. It's not quite as coordinated as it was for Phoenix around their jet Menace, but if Campeki is shut down, things go wrong. This is a mid-shut. Menace, the aforementioned jet player, is hanging out at the back of the site. Oh, we'll just find a free kill there. Second, also chiming in, holding a great choke point inside Garden, and nobody is even touching the earth on the A site this round as an impenetrable Garden defense holds for PHOENIX1, and they will clean house.
Second, with a gangbuster of a hold there, picking up the preliminary 2 and then cleaning it up with the classic. This is where you see that sort of slower paced, pick focused setup that Spot Up seems to be bringing to the overwhelming majority of their offenses, really coming back to bite them, because we see those pretty quick rotations. Obviously, we see PHOENIX1 now floating heavily in towards mid and stacking sites just based off of the preferences they've started to see come out of Spot Up, and it is stymieing a lot of Spot Up's and Campeki's in particular ability to find early openings.
You should run.
I think that's one of the things that needs to be done anytime you see a team playing slower like this. You say, okay, well, we can just respond to the first contact we get, and we're going to have a reasonably good chance of being able to trade positively into their entire team defensively. You can see the lockdown used very early on in the round. Menace trying to get spots onto that A site. PHOENIX1, off of the information they have gathered, will assume that it is, in fact, all the way over on this A site. They are right. Spike will go down. Site control is over to Spot Up. They are at a player disadvantage, but they'll trade that back. Precision on re-entry, drop down. Second will find Trill. They're still working this Raptors angle. Sova Dart will go out and get a pulse off. I don't believe anyone was spotted. It's down to Campeki, really. Finds the first kill, can't get the second. King with the delayed trade into the site will be shut down by HIA from underneath Raptors. And Zekin's got Figment, making this doable for PHOENIX1 as the one-to-one trading takes us all the way to the end. Zekin with a triple kill, working out the site take for PHOENIX1 and bringing them to their 12th round.
I was saying that Zekin is my player to watch on P1, and he's definitely making my case for me at this point. Really hero rounding these critical last 2 rounds to recreate that gap between them and Spot Up and setting them up on match point here.
That was an insane retake from PHOENIX1. Just kill after kill traded ever so slightly in their favor. Campeki with the door hold getting baited into a reload by the well-timed entry. Really, really well played.
Camera taken out.
This is going to be a fast one, or at least it's threatened as a fast one. You see the earthquake right at the start. But Phoenix Spot Up don't make good on that. Drifting towards mid, taking their time in this round.
Spot Up is really fond of this high defaulty, proddy style where they just look for space gradually and...
Oh, King. Did King see that?
He must not have. If he had, he would have had to have capitalized on it, done something.
Ooh. And indeed, King does not spot it. Campeki will find the kill, and PHOENIX1 are holding strong. This could be it. An excellent play. Trill will find the entry. But this has to be a Spot Up B-take, and it is not looking like it. Second yet again going huge. Hunter's Fury will be thrown out. This is what we refer to in fighting games as throwing some buttons. If you're familiar with that.
Zekin is throwing some buttons
left.
Indeed.
Figment,
And you have
the
to
odds
imagine
don't
that-
look too good.
Yeah, this is as good as done. You have to think.
18 seconds, I believe. Oh, there is, to be fair, nobody on this A site.
10 seconds left.
Spike planted.
He has a
Figment will
recon and
get the
both
flag.
shock darts. He could play
Avoidable
off site,
is
look to
what
catch a rotation.
Yeah?
Maybe? If he can find a pick here and plays offsite shock dart lineup, he genuinely has a shot still.
Oh, they're not checking. There's one.
There it goes.
Precision will find the trade, and there is PHOENIX1 taking the dub off the back of some really good attack rounds, and a little bit of a struggle match, but an adaptable one on the defensive side.
Defenders win.
Not ready.
I think, and the Sage just adds so much utility to that toolbox. Good Sage play isn't so much about the healing and the resurrect, so we definitely do see those. It is more about what do you do with your slows, what do you do with your walls.
Yeah, this is going to be wild because it's almost, looking at the compositions, it's almost a complete flip-flop. We see that dual dive composition coming out of the side of Spot Up now with Raze and Jet, and we see P1 dropping into more of a passive styled setup. Whether or not their play can match their compositional biases will be something that probably means a lot as this match moves forward.
Spot Up taking the attack and shoving forward here. Will be stalled out, but here comes the execute. Jet onto the side. There was some really good shock arrows just slowing down that take. And that's allowed PHOENIX1 to already have players shoving in behind it. Flanking in. Menace will take the lead there. The Shorty finds first blood for their seat. Trill does go down.
Enemy down.
Oh my lord, Zekken! Just playing some geometry here. There's the wall.
Oh my goodness, this wall!
There's the defuse. They're all.
There's no way they get through!
Is pulled out. There's no way to get
Oh
through.
my.
The defense holds strong. Jackler with the 3-man cleanup, but it's an afterthought. What an excellent retake from PHOENIX1.
Absolutely incredible. They take early teleports, they force hookah control, they back out the entirety of Spot Up into that bottleneck in Octagon, and then they just wall it off. They say, this is a pistol round. You don't have the firepower to break this. We're calling you on your BS. We are taking this defuse. Stick it.
I'll tell you where to stick this spike. In your own spawn, because you're respawning. We're going to the next round. You didn't like that? I was pulling it back, but I needed you to work with it.
This round, I mean, it's
going
to be a standard bonus here. Coming through with some deegs on the side of Spot Up. An interesting light force from them. I'm not sure what they're trying to convert on here.
Fully off-site for the defense. Not a single member playing on site. And Phoenix will be playing the retake from all angles yet again. Here we go. King trades 1-for-1. Dash onto the side from Menace through the metal box in the middle. But you have everything you need. This even trading actually gets a little bit more dangerous.
Remaining.
And it's down to Zekken to clean things up. Now Sheriff in hand, covering the defuse. It's enough. A little messy, but PHOENIX1 grabbed their second round.
Definitely a bit dicier than you tend to see on bonuses there, but the light force up we saw from Spot Up makes that a little bit more understandable. Moving in now, it's going to be really critical. I'm interested to see just how much that force up affected Spot Up's ability to buy in here. And it looks like they're totally fine. They bought up very mindfully. They're still all set for rifles across the board. And P1 forcing Menace up onto the operator.
Okay, sure, yes, operator's been I thought we had a thing, Martin. I thought this was a partnership. Close off angle for Menace. We'll find the shot and get away.
Menace back up to his old tricks. This is really similar play to what we saw on Ascent. Taking that really aggressive main pathway corridor lock. We saw it on B main. We're seeing it now here on A short. Going to those early positions, locking down primary exit corridors and depriving that space.
Here.
Look at how far up Rustin is. And I don't think that was expected. Jangler gets 1 kill, backed up by Zekken's shock arrow. That is a little disgusting. I don't know how that worked out given the amount of shots that were missed, but Spot Up don't find anything on their entries, and indeed it may be a perfect round. By that I mean, not a single player has taken a point of damage over on PHOENIX1.
This is honestly a huge testament to the cerebral game that PHOENIX1 is playing here. They force up to an off on an otherwise full bonus round. So you've got SMG's foot. Ooh, Kia making a case that they can bring this back.
I don't think it's reasonable to expect them to win this round, but a very nice flick onto that second target. You have to give HIA credit for that. 14 seconds left. This should be the round, and it is. Jungler cleaning it up.
He was in a position there to actually make a very big play for his team. Had he stayed for hookah control there, deprived P1 of picking that op back up, that's actually a massive economic swing. Instead, we see him sort of gamble on trying to make some sort of conversion on that site, goes in, ends up dying, and that op will go right back into the hands of Menace, who looks like he's going to pick up early B-long control here and see if he can't get another one of those now highly recurring opening picks.
I think you were making a really good point before all this happened about how cerebral the PHOENIX1 defense is. We talked a lot on the last game about how their coordinated attack was allowing them to blow through choke points. I think the opposite is happening here, where their coordinated defense is enabling them to cycle utility really effectively around the tighter choke points here on Bind.
Yeah, they forced up onto an op early in that really early phase, and they're utilizing it correctly. The way that they're having Menace float on their op between sites after early picks is... Whoop.
And Kampeki pushes forward. Zekin's already got them all lined up. Kampeki will find a single kill there, dropping Jungler, but that should be everything. King's there for the cleanup. Trill gets a little bit too much damage, but Spot Up don't get any kind of side entry. There was never a moment that round was in question, because that camera from King just watched everything happen. There was a full rotate. PHOENIX1 were ready to receive.
This is getting very scary for the side of Spot Up here. This rifle, if they lose it, is going to mean a abysmal half, almost guaranteedly. They're forced up onto an op here. They have full rifles. They haven't been able to even scratch P1's economy in the past 2 rounds. If they break their econ here, it's going to be more than an uphill battle. And Kampeki finds the opening they need there.
Yeah, that is what Spot Up have needed several rounds in a row. Precision will trade it back, though. HIA falling elsewhere. That was an aggressive shove out of hookah, actually, from PHOENIX1 to find that trade.
Yeah, Menace looking for that early pick, the aggression that has paid off so much, not only on this map, but the prior one. And in this instance, Kampeki, scoped up on the opposite side of the map, finds him quicker than the opposite can be had.
Checking out King's camera spots. You'd think they will expect this one. And yet, Rustin's
did he catch Rustin on the way
totally
in?
Been seen.
Or
yeah,
did Rustin
totally
just ship in the night straight to truck?
Given the way they're playing around it, they certainly know now. Jungler will be here. There's the shock dart in. 1, 2. Neither one actually finds a whole lot of damage. And as a result, this is winnable, actually, for Spot Up. They're just holding the site. Rustin will find Zekin. Definitely a little further forward than they thought, at least the second time around. As King finds a trade onto Trill. That's the side open. Kampeki playing on the edge of the smoke will be read by Precision. Shut down. PHOENIX1 reopen the site and take down the kills. It is all in the hands of Figment playing inside of a tiny little U-haul, and as a result, Jungler will dig him out. 5-0. Now, PHOENIX1 running away with the defense, and right, like you were talking about, that is a devastating economic round for Spot Up.
They found everything they needed to in that round with that early pick, but the fact that they weren't able to convert it, they had the early pick on the B side of the map, they got Rustin into A site on the A side of the map, and yet it just didn't get there. The retake from PHOENIX1 came through so powerfully that there just was no leg left to stand on, and now we're going to see them with an absolutely shattered economy.
Here.
A Deagle, a Judge, a Stinger. What are we even looking at here?
Raised Judge will win these. Never mind, Rustin. Shut down, there's the Raised Judge entry. Oh, it works! HIA grabs Jungler right off the bat. And now maybe you can make something out of this round, as they do have control of Lamp Room. Kampeki shoving forward to try and take control of the showers. Ooh, Kampeki! That is a dirty kill, and they've given Kampeki an AWP as HIA finds
They
another
don't know
one.
the sage is there.
Phantom.
They don't know about the sage.
They lacked it! I don't understand how they had no clue Precision was hiding around the corner, but Precision just times it well and nobody's looking. So Precision just walks back around the corner. I wasn't even mentioning it because I assumed they knew.
They saw the early op shot, they knew about Menace, but they were completely oblivious to the fact that Sage had already preliminary pushed out. We see Kampeki dash forward, look down into that teleporter area preceding showers, and after he sees nobody, he assumes it's good, goes into a post-plant position
Good.
with Figment, and Precision just comes up right behind.
I don't know, it just doesn't seem like anyone's there, says Kampeki. And as a result, what actually looked like a really good eco round has now broken over to PHOENIX1 yet again. 6-0 now on your scoreline.
This is an angle from Menace.
Ooh, jumps across. HIA, you're kidding me! Blast packs across, takes the fight real close. And this slower attack over towards the B site is working much better. They find that opening trade. Zekin's playing around the corner. You have King at the other end of the halls here. And here's the flank. P1 do have all of the players hemmed in on the site again. These retakes onto B have been devastating in the past. But they haven't found the openings just yet, and you can see Spot Up willing to play a little slower, try and find those kills before they take the risks. Kampeki on the long flank did grab Jangler, but Precision finds the trade. Radar will be destroyed, so they know there's a player nearby, but it doesn't buy enough time to safely plant the spike. The spike will go down, but it's 3 for 3 as the trading continued. Rustin playing tight. Oh! Through the smoke! Gets a free headshot on second, shuts down King as well on the push. And this may be the first round for Spot Up of a random misfire through the smoke. Rustin just gets a free kill. And Precision now needs to do miraculous work. Will opt instead to save the AWP and back away. There's your first round on the board for Spot Up.
Spot Up, it seems like the crux of them being able to find these rounds is shutting out Menace's early aggression. If they can consistently be using blast pack plays from Hia or dash plays from Kampeki, that is going to be their opening. That's the window. That is proven thus far to be the only way they can find themselves a way into rounds.
Thanks.
Bullet's got to go somewhere. Rustin able to grab that through the smoke. Maybe Rustin has 5 billion IQ. But I have to believe they were just pre-firing on the sound of King's footsteps and randomly found a second kill.
Absolutely, yeah. A pure random headshot, but those happen, and in the positioning that they were at, I think that they were in a fairly good spot to win that round either way.
Yeah. It was going to be a tough retake, but I don't know how you take free kills when you get them. And as a result, Spot Up will say, hey, that worked. Let's try this same rush again. Send in the drone, get some vision, start looking for fights. Kampeki over the top will force utility defensively. They're going to have this slow down. Omen smoke on top.
The discipline from P1 right now is really compelling to me. The fact that they still have 2 people anchoring A, and Menace finds that early pick onto Rustin.
Kampeki out on the site. Does get, I think, a little bit behind the defenses, but Precision, talking about PHOENIX1 discipline, has the communication to save the day. Menace will get traded out, but Precision still anchoring the site. One more kill to them as Trill tries to work their way out. The rotates are there. Jangler will be in time to save the round.
It's not the most exciting thing to point out, but I really want to highlight the fact that P1 had Jangler and King on A for a good 15 seconds, where Spot Up had full hookah control. The amount of discipline to not over-rotate in that situation is absurd at this level of play in NA.
Keep it cool.
And
That's how you
that's what we're
survive.
seeing time and time again from PHOENIX1, just an understanding of what their opponents are doing on the map. And you have to love it, because that is what this more coordinated European style of aggression can get you. Extra information. Speaking of, quick peek out, and that'll spot everyone. Force the rotate from PHOENIX1. Menace will find the opening kill on Rustin as you get a jump on top from HIA. They will drop as well. Menace for 3 from the back of the side. Zekin finds the 4th, and it is all Figment. 1v5, 1v4. He wins these. 1v3. He wins these. Figment goes further forward out to the site and has successfully scared back both defending players. You have the rotate from that battle sage. Coming in behind. I think a little scared that Figment is just going to abuse this TP. But they're drifting away. Both defenders back-to-back inside Lamprum. It's very, very hard for Figment to clear out, but I don't think they have any clue where Figment's at. And there is King, able to just hold the angle, play that very well as a tag team on the side. Despite Figment's actually sterling efforts, PHOENIX1 will take their 8th round.
Menace is just doing Menace things, man, and it's to the point now where Spot Up really needs to catch the hint. They have now cold walked up to a site in half the rounds of this match and gotten immediately picked off by Menace. In this round, we see the Omen one-way go up A short, so what do? They don't explosively exec to try and pull Menace's crosshair that they know is there, they just walk up and get shot. Spot Up has got to find some level of explosivity if they want anything in this game.
It is a little disappointing that their executes have been so delayed. This is on top of the ice wall, actually. HIA should have an inkling of what's going on. This is the ice wall boost that gives you really, really messed up vision down here in the gardens. And also a fun angle to play. You can't hold it, so King instead has to anchor the gardens. Trill and Rustin will fall. Precision off the rotate grabs Figment. And there you have it. Eco round pretty much done and dusted. And I think you've hit on something we touched on during the pregame, which is just, this is their map pick. Spot Up said, hey, we want to play Bind. And it's not looking like they actually did.
Well, it's a funny situation, because we've talked a couple times now about how Spot Up is like a fundamentally strong group of CS players. You want to know what map is not about CS fundamentals to the degree that almost any other map is? Bind. There are teleporters on it, for heaven's sake. How can you talk about playing like a highly disciplined, fundamentals-focused game when someone can blip halfway across the map on a whim?
Yeah, it's a map where the abilities and, dare I say, fundamentals from other games like Apex and Overwatch really shine. It's a map where Valorant-specific strategies need to come out. And we just haven't seen any of those here from Spot Up. They are kind of playing traditional Counter-Strike entries on these sites. It's not worked out.
Healer down.
Oh! Zekin finds one through the wall. Kampeki is the only trade back in that 2-for-1 exchange. As Spot Up did get an opener over here onto the B side. That was Precision on the Sage to fall. But it's not really an opener so much as a kill. There's still plenty of players here. And Kampeki's got to do work. Dash onto the site, nothing to find. Very clean round. PHOENIX1 take us to double digits, 10-1.
I'm going to have to pull stats after this game, because Zekin probably has one of the highest Hunter's Fury kill conversion rates in this set than I have seen in a very long time. It feels like every time he pops that ultimate, it is a guaranteed one, and he's gotten a few multi-kills. I remember, I think, 2 from the last map, and you almost never see Sova ultimate multi-kills. The way that P1 is utilizing their abilities, utilizing their ultimates, pulling out truly Valorant-specific strategy is just shattering Spot Up's game plan.
And you can see, I think, the downside of the slower Spot Up approaches in rounds like that one, where there just aren't enough angles to work on sites in Valorant to take rounds that slowly. Here is the lockdown spent. Aggressively controlling the site, forcing PHOENIX1 off of it. They will have to play retake.
Planted.
I think they're okay with that. Playing from the halls. This is how they've retaken the site most times anyway. Second with the shock dart, claims that kill, steals away from Jangler, but Jangler follows up. A double spray down. Figment and HIA both fall, and it is just site players left now. Kampeki and Trill both grab one. Rez will bring Jangler back to the fight immediately afterwards, though, and Precision's got a kill of their own. An easy round for Phoenix off the back of the retake. 11-1.
PHOENIX1 looking pretty scary, man. I'm not so sure that Bind was the pick here. Doesn't feel like it was the move.
11-1. No, I don't think Bind was the pick here, Martin. After I'm looking at this halftime scoreline.
This could be more or less it. If P1 finds the pistol, that could be done and dusted right now. And based off of just how potent their attacking side was on Ascent and how much finesse they brought to their set plays, I would be more inclined to gamble on that than the alternative.
Yeah. I'm kind of shocked at the extent to which SpotUp's game plan on attack was just walk into sight. I kept waiting for them to be pulling something more interesting out. Because they did have a deeper strat book on Ascent. But here on Bind, it has kind of just been, hey, what happens if we walk into Menace? And the answer, it turns out, is 99% of the time, you get fragged.
Something that is worth mentioning that is a little bit under the radar is if you were to go back over that half, I genuinely believe that PHOENIX1 used the teleporters more than SpotUp did. And if you are the attacker on this map, the teleporters are meant for you. They are there for you to use, not the defenders. The fact that P1 was utilizing them better, I mean, that's almost all you have to say.
Even trading opens up this round. We do have a slight advantage for PHOENIX1, but Figment will bring it back. Plant will go down. And it's a 2v2 retake, but SpotUp have 2 HP on Figment, just to keep the theme going. Precision playing close. We'll find one from the back of the site. Oh, beautiful headshot. Zekan's got the second. And PHOENIX1 keep on rolling. Half number 2, and they're already at match point.
So TJ, are you ready for a YOLO eco? Because I'm ready for a YOLO eco.
Give me a YOLO eco. Stingers and a frenzy. Nothing too exciting.
Got a Bucky on the side of Kampeki. All right. What have you got, SpotUp? What is your do or die
this is...
YOLO eco?
I hold to the fact that if SpotUp had bind strats, we would have seen him by now, which really does, I don't know, expose a weakness. When you're left choosing between SpotUp and between Bind and Split, you'd think you'd have strats for one of those. Here come PHOENIX1 trying to end the game. Dash out onto the site. Menace up close already with the Stinger. Over the top, Precision's got one. There is another player anchoring the back of the site. It was Figment, but Figment does fall, and PHOENIX1 have the site yet again. 3 players for the retake now. Trill will find one from Hookah, but he instantly traded out. Rustin's got an entry, one of the bright spots for SpotUp this game. And now, actually, as HIA finds a sick nade kill, this is doable. In fact, should be one. Zekan has to pull out a miracle. The spike's down on the site. But they've got a Stinger.
30 seconds left.
Spray around the corner. Rustin will find him. There you go! SpotUp, stay in this game, Martin.
I guess it's a Yolt. You only live twice now? I mean, I'm sorry. I'm genuinely sorry.
No, it's the run back. We're going all the way.
We'll have to see how far SpotUp can run this one along. Obviously, with the scoreboard where it's at, it's a hard thing to sell that SpotUp has a shot at this at all. But we shall see. The first of many.
I was an NIP fan in 2013. I'm used to the run backs. HIA will be playing close. Maybe they can make something out of this position. They did both get Omen blinded though, so it should be red, and indeed it is. HIA dead with the nade out. Kampeki will trade for one, but Menace is there to answer. Rustin instantly gone, and Trill finds at least something back. That'll lead us in a 3-on-3. A quick flank actually from Trill finds 2 kills, as King is unable to adjust quickly enough.
One enemy remaining.
No way! 3 in the round for Trill. And it turns out the secret to spot up, being able to pick up rounds, is you gotta play a little more aggressive, disrupt the set strats, and just evolve the round into aim duels. If you can play deathmatch, spot up able to work out some victories.
Yeah, I think that to a certain extent, Spot Up almost plays too disciplined. They try to lean too heavily on the fundamentals. At a certain point, you have to understand that you need to just launch high risk, high reward plays and trust yourselves to be better.
I agree with that. If you're going to play, hey, we don't have a whole lot of set strats, we want to play a little bit more loose and team-oriented, you need to also acknowledge that that means you're getting in unorthodox positions, you're playing faster. And they haven't been doing that. They've been playing slower and with fewer set strats. Here is PHOENIX1 with the typical ice wall pizza slice side take. And we'll get spiked
back
down.
to
Rustin
beta.
finds an opener. PHOENIX over the wall. Open onto HIA. That was precision. Able to grab exactly 1 kill before Rustin found the turn. This strat has still worked. You can't see the offside hold from PHOENIX, but they are down a man. So this offside hold needs to be big. There's Rustin pushing on out, trying to clean out the players inside lamp room. That was Trill. Going down to Jangler. Rustin finds Jangler. King for 2. This is it. PHOENIX1 take the win.
I think that the stick there was a little bit too aggressive. I genuinely believe that where they were playing man up there, they had to retake U-Haul and make more of a true go at